Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Canterbury Catholic, and today I'm going to give my final live stream. Well, it might not be my final, but it is the final live stream giving a breakdown of the kind of the day by day of the second annual, the 2026 Ordinariate Musicians Conference. So if you haven't been following along the past couple of days, I've been in Houston for like I said, the second annual Ordinariate Musicians Conference. Um, this is something that they started doing last year and that they've gone ahead and done this year. And the purpose of this weekend is for all the musicians and the music directors, the organists, the cantors, the whoever involved with the music ministry in the ordinary parishes to get together, do some networking, do some formation in various musical topics pertaining to our patrimony, things like Gregorian chant, Anglican chant, the history of the Anglican patrimony, and the music heritage of choral evensong, and the liturgical heritage of divine worship, the Missal. So, just for us to come together and learn some things about our own kind of Catholic identity within the context of the Ordinariate, and to also get to know each other. Um, and today was the second full day. So, we all got here on Tuesday, and that was kind of a half day. It was just kind of a meet and greet, get ourselves oriented a little bit with the shape of the weekend. And then Wednesday was a full day, and today, Thursday, was our second full day and our last full day. Tomorrow is just another half day. Will be really the conference has kind of ended. The remainder of it is just some fellowship and some general discussions. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put the live chat up. If you're watching and you're in the chat, please leave a like, drop a comment, tell me who you are, where you're from, how long you've been subscribed, and yeah, I'd love to engage with that. So the breakdown for today, we started this morning together at the cathedral for Mass, celebrated by His Excellency Bishop Stephen Lopes, which was very nice. This was Mass with the Cathedral High School. I think it was the sophomores offering the music, which was very nice. It was nice to kind of see them in action and hear them, and they did fantastic. They sound fantastic. The Murrays, Edmund and Shaylon Murray, who are the music directors at the cathedral and at Cathedral High School, do a phenomenal job forming those young students. So that was great. We then had a plenary talk. With one of the deacons here at the cathedral, Deacon Verla. His first name is escaping me at the moment, but he gave Deacon Brian Verla, that's his name. He's to be ordained a priest, God willing, in I think the spring. So he gave a talk about the just kind of the heritage, his own personal experience as an Anglican, and the heritage of what it is to be an Anglican musician and an Anglo kind of cultural musician. And he's from Canada, so even within that, there's a very particular kind of expression, which is different from the United States and a little bit more similar to the typical European choral expression in the British Isles. So that was nice. After that, we had a short time for rehearsal. The first half was in sectionals, so the altos and the sopranos went with Miss Shaylin Murray. The tenors and basses stayed with Mr. Edmund Murray, and we just did some woodshedding on some of the various pieces, and musicated portions for the choral evensong that we were going to perform, or I should say, lend our voices to this evening, and I'll talk about that later. And then we all came together for our last kind of big rehearsal, just to hash out uh, some major kind of big picture musical points and making sure we were all on the same page. After that, we had a short break. There was actually a very short organ recital. So another thing that's just phenomenal about the Cathedral of Our Lady of Walsingham and the music ministry there is that in addition to the high school and the elementary and middle school homeschool co-op that they have that houses at the cathedral, um, They also have a music conservatory, so people, young musicians, even if they're not involved with the cathedral or with the schools, they can apply, and they can study private lessons with some of the music faculty associated with the cathedral. And one such thing is they have an organ studio, because the whole point being that they want to spread the beauty of sacred music, and part of that, and parcel of sacred music, is not just the vocal training but also training in competency on the organ. So two of their young organ scholars put on a little recital for us. One was, I think one is a senior in high school, and the other one is a freshman at the local university. And again, it was great. It was optional for us to attend. I attended, because I love going to recitals, especially with younger musicians. And it was great. It was beautiful. I mean, just something that kind of really gives you hope for the state of ecclesial and sacred music in the United States and for the church at large. So, hats off to both of those young men. Um, I didn't write their names down, but they did a fantastic job. After that, we had lunch, and then after lunch, we had our first breakout session. And the four breakout session options for this first block were Gregorian Chant for Beginners, given by Dr. Alexis Katarna. I'll talk about that more in a second. Hymns, Psalms, and Spiritual Canticles, given by Mr. Stephen Collins. Mr. Stephen Collins is not a current music director in any Ordinariate parish, but back in the day, he was the music director here at Our Lady of Walsingham prior to it being a cathedral, and in fact, prior to the Ordinariate existing. So he has a wealth of knowledge, um, not just of the Anglican custom, but also the history of the cathedral. So it's always fun talking to him. Music for weddings and funerals with Mr. Edmund Murray, and a session for organists on console technique by Dr. Kevin Clark. Dr. Kevin Clark is a local musician here. He's a big friend of the cathedral, and in fact, I believe he's the head of the hymnal committee. So he's deeply kind of entrenched and involved with the musical life here in the Ordinariate and at Our Lady of Walsingham. I went to the beginners session for Gregorian chant. Now, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a beginner or a novice in Gregorian chant. I would say um, I wouldn't call myself an expert. I mean, but I wouldn't, compared to normal people, non-sacred music people, I would say I'm an expert. But I would say I'm less than an expert, but more than a novice. Maybe an amateur. Maybe that's a good way of putting it. However, I went to this session because it's always good to kind of go back to basics. I also wanted to see how one can express and kind of educate non-Gregorian chant-oriented folk in in the medium, in the art, as it were. And Dr. Katarna, who is, by the way, the principal, I think it's the head of school is her title, but she's the principal of Cathedral High School. But her training, her first love, as she put it, is in sacred music, specifically Gregorian chant, which she studied at a very high level. So it was great hearing from her, just seeing her method, seeing how she introduces it to people. Um, and that was very enlightening and edifying, even though I didn't necessarily learn anything totally new. Okay. After that breakout session was done, we then had another block for breakout sessions. So the breakout session options at this point for this block, for the second block, were Gregorian chant for experience, those who are experienced, also by Dr. Katarna. Even Song on a Shoestring, which I went to the day prior and I spoke about in yesterday's video, so if you're interested, check that out. Memory in the Anglican Choral Experience. I also went to that session yesterday, so again, if you're interested, go ahead and listen to or watch yesterday's video. And then a session for organists, Improvisation for the Liturgy, also by Dr. Kevin Clark. So I actually stayed in Dr. Katarna's room, and I stayed for the experienced session for Gregorian chant. And in this, I actually did learn a lot new. We talked a lot about how to get musical and yeah, I guess musical nuance that can be kind of brought out and out of Gregorian chant, a way of kind of even edifying the music or the chant even more, as opposed to just kind of taking it as at face value, as most of us who are not formally trained in Gregorian chant tend to be. there are very few people who are formally trained in Gregorian chant, but there are plenty of people who kind of pick it up and figure it out as we go along. So it was great seeing or hearing Dr. Katarna, who is formally trained in the art, kind of impart ways of being able to, again, further amplify and edify the music, the art, even more so. So that was fantastic. just a, two just great sessions on Gregorian chant by Dr. Katarna. Um, and she even gave us a number of resources. So, and I'm very excited to take these home with me, kind of dig into them a little bit more. Okay, so after that last breakout session, we had our final rehearsal in the cathedral for choral evensong. This was kind of our dry run or our dress rehearsal. We got vested in our cassocks and we took our places in the cathedral, in the chancel, and we worked, getting into the sanctuary, how, working through the program, various rubrics attached with that, and then getting out. Um, that went by very quickly. And then after that, at 5:30, we had choral evensong. We did the thing. We did the thing that we had been rehearsing and kind of working up towards. This is really kind of the climax of the whole day and the whole weekend, really the whole week, I should say. And it was fantastic. I mean, just as a musician, we can always nitpick, and we're always nitpicking, and we're always thinking, this could have gone better, or I should have done this, or this, that, and the other, or I made this stupid mistake here, or the person next to me made a really big mistake and it was dumb. But at the end of the day, just in the context of all these people coming from across the United States and even Canada, with varying levels of musical formation and competency and experience coming together and putting on this full-length service, which included four polyphonic compositions by well-known and kind of iconic composers of the medieval and Baroque and I guess medieval and Baroque periods. Putting together these chant settings, these ordinary settings, portions of the liturgical service, and doing it at a high level, and also I'll draw attention to the fact that we did not get this music in advance. We got this music on Tuesday, so the day before yesterday. No, I'm sorry, we got it yesterday. We got it yesterday morning on Wednesday. Yeah, so we did not have a lot of time to prepare, but it was great, and we didn't have any real extra help. We had I think 2 or 3 Cathedral High School students performing with us, and actually Dr. Katarna performed with us as well. So the vast majority, the other 30 something odd people were those of us who were traveling here for the conference, which was fantastic, and just seeing the product that we can put out, all for the glory of God and for the nourishment of the faithful, and for the spreading that beautiful heritage and history of the Ordinariate was just fantastic. And then after that, the real fun happened. We had dinner. This was kind of our last chance to just hang out and enjoy each other's company, talk over food and drink. And it was very nice. The weather's very nice right now in the South, here in Texas, and also back home in Florida. It's actually very nice. So we were outside, and we were just all just having a good time, enjoying each other's company, and just laughing and talking about our choirs back home and what we want to do, and what we have done, and it's been great. And yeah, and that was pretty much the day. Oh, actually, two things. One thing I forgot to mention yesterday. I actually had an encounter with a subscriber, which was really cool. You guys know that I don't do or put much effort into this channel. But it's just kind of something that happens when it happens organically. But one person that has been very active in the comment section and a good supporter since some of the earliest days of this channel has been a gentleman by the name of Jay Mueller. If you go back through most of my videos, you'll see he usually comments some nice words of encouragement and engaging with the content. Jay is a Houston native, as far as I know, and he actually came up to me yesterday. It was we were oh it was after Evensong yesterday at the cathedral. I was in the narthex about to leave, and he comes up to me and he introduced himself, and it just something really cool. I haven't met a ton of you guys. A few guys I have met. Um, and every time it's just always very nice, very edifying, very comforting, and just very supportive for just kind of what we do here at the Canterbury Catholic. So, Jay, if you're watching this, thank you very much for your support and your kind words, and I appreciate you introducing yourself to me yesterday. And the reason I remember that is because I met Jay yesterday, but I'm pretty sure he was also in the congregation for Evensong today. I didn't get to see him, but he was there. Another thing that was really cool is before we processed in for Evensong, all of the choristers were in kind of the tiny hallway leading into the nave and kind of in between the nave and the narthex. And the doors to the cathedral open like right before we're about to start. And we all kind of look over, and we see this big man in a massive black robe or cassock, a big medallion with an icon of Our Lady, and this big kind of a white Episcopal headgear and a bishop's staff. And it was I think the local Greek Orthodox bishop came to Choral Evensong to see us and to hear us. And that was just really cool. Just no one expected it. Apparently, he's someone who frequents Our Lady of Walsingham, as a show of kind of support and good faith and kind of ecumenical brotherhood. But it was just really cool kind of singing this Western, beautiful, polyphonic Magnificat and looking out into the congregation and seeing the local Orthodox Archbishop sitting just next to my bishop, to Bishop Lopes, who was in the congregation. So that's something that was really cool. Something totally unexpected, but something I'll never forget for sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nicholas Roman, yeah, ecumenism in action, right? Exactly. Um, that's pretty much it. The conference this year. I don't know if I'll give like a debrief when I get home. I have a very busy weekend, and in between work and all that, I don't know if I'll say much about the musicians conference after today. But I will say, just having gone to both of them so far, I think this year was a really big step up. For one, we had more time, which was nice. I think we all agreed that last year it just went so fast, and part of that is because, you know, if you do it over the weekends, you're taking a bunch of church musicians out from their Sunday gigs, and the parishes, suffer for that. But if you do it during the weeks, during the week, people have work, people have school. It's usually the start of the semester right around now, so it's kind of difficult. It's you win some or you lose some. But I think doing it more in the week and having more time was great. Was totally the move to go for. And because of that, a lot of the people who were here this year were not here last year. So I met more new faces. In fact, I would say I met more new people than I reconnected with people I met last year. Um, I also think the variety of breakout sessions was great, and the presenters were fantastic. The keynote speakers were awesome too. The food is always great, and so is the wine. um, and the weather was fantastic. So just all in all, it was a great experience. And I personally actually wasn't planning on coming because I just assumed it would kind of be the same thing as last year. I wasn't sure if I wanted to take time out of work to do this. But I ended up doing it just because things worked out. And I must say, I'm glad I did. I really am glad I did. I would have been sorry to have missed this. So if anyone's watching this and you're a musician at an ordinary parish or a music director or whatever, and you haven't gone, or maybe you went last year but you didn't go this year, if we do this again next year, consider coming, because if this year's a taste of things to come, it's only getting better. Um, So I must thank and commend the staff of the cathedral here, Bishop Lopes, obviously, Tim Carruthers, who's the director of liturgy for the Ordinariate. He's deeply involved with putting together all of this stuff, and obviously music is connected with the liturgy, so he's kind of our shepherd, guiding us around. Tim is the first one on campus to open up, and he's the last one to lock up once everyone's left. So he's done a fantastic job. God bless him. And just all the cathedral staff, the assistants, the priests who have made themselves available to us. Obviously, the Murrays, Shaylin, and Edmund, just absolutely fantastic. It feels invigorating in a certain sense, kind of going home and thinking, all right, I can't do everything at my parish that I saw this weekend, but there are things I can do to make my parish my parish choir, I should say, this much better, and that much better, amplified across all the music directors here. And for, getting bigger over time is exponential growth in the life and ministration of the worship of God in the Ordinariate of the Church of St. Peter, which is something that cannot be quantified or qualitatively kind of defined. It's priceless. So, all that is to say, I've had a great time. I look forward to doing something like this again in the future. Um, and, maybe, again, like I said, if you're someone involved with the music ministry at an ordinary parish and you haven't come, consider coming if you get the opportunity, because it's been great. You learn a ton. Everyone here is fantastic, and it's just a great experience, and it really ties you to the mission and the identity of who we are as ordinary Catholics. Um, yeah, so I'll stop rambling. I need to get some sleep because I'm exhausted. I gotta wake up early tomorrow, go to the final sessions and talks, and then after that I have a long flight home, and then after that, once I get home, I go straight into rehearsal for choral evensong on Saturday with the bishop, followed by mass on Sunday with the bishop. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please leave a comment, share this, like this, do whatever you can, and to kind of make this become a little bit more prevalent in people's sub boxes, so that people can see and appreciate more the identity and mission of the Ordinariate. All right, guys. God bless you. Bye.